mean, we're just vibing. Well, welcome to the Elle Duncan Show, presented by AT&T. We're listening right now to Whitney Houston, Don't You Want to Dance in the background. It's kind of like, it's poetic because we're no longer dancing. The season is over, and UConn wins the national championship in a way. Like, we saw these two teams face each other. We knew what UConn was capable of. I mean, they handed South Carolina their first home loss in 3 years. They won that one by 29 points. I don't think any of us thought that we were going to see this blowout that we saw here today. But with all due respect to everything that South Carolina brought to the table, it was just, like, we just kept looking at each other going, what are you going to do with this? What can you do with this? What stands out to you about it?
One thing that I've always learned in playing in these tournaments, it's not necessarily about who's the better team. It's about who's playing their best basketball right now. And I was walking down the street and I ran into Breanna Stewie, and I said, hey, your Huskies look good. And she said, it's about dang time. Right on time did they have their best performances, not only from Paige Bueckers, who was quite differential, but she provided that fight, those winning plays, Drea. But best performances from AZ Fudd, best performances from a freshman in Sarah Strong. UConn basketball, people thought they could relax. Oh, they haven't won the title in 8 years. They're back. They're better than ever. They keep reloading.
You know what's amazing about UConn is there was a stretch of time where people were like, UConn is bad for women's basketball, right? Because they were winning so much and Gino was dominating for so long. And then it raised the level of all of these other programs, right? So now there's so much competition around the country. And what does UConn do? Say, okay, we see all of you all, but here we are again. They raise the level and then they win again. It's unbelievable.
And when you think about winning and UConn, bad for basketball, whatever, typically when you win at this level, it makes you a villain because everyone's like, oh man, I'm trying to get on your level. And even though it trickles down to the players, you think about like, oh, I can never score on my, or it's so hard to keep them down. This is a class, and Paige is a player that is beloved. Even Gino, everyone's saying like, oh, this guy that was really so tough for so long is shedding tears. That is the difference. We've seen sort of a transference in what UConn has been to what they are now.
Can I ask you, Drea, do you think that some of that comes from the fact that it's not like UConn was just getting beat, or it was because of injuries? Like, let's be real, right? I mean, we've talked to Gino for years about he's never seen anything like it, the amount of injuries. We would just keep like an ongoing counter of how many combined games. For years, it was like Aaliyah Edwards was the only person that was available for every game. Do you think some of that is why, apart from, Paige being the queen of Riz and always saying the right thing and being such a great ally and being such a great basketball player, do you think some of that is because it was like, it wasn't anything that they could control? It was things out of their control that were keeping them off of that podium.
Yeah, and you know what was amazing was even when they were just falling down with all of these injuries, they still made it to a Final Four. They still had levels of success that other programs don't even come close to. That's how special Gino Auriemma and UConn, that's how special what they have is. But yeah, I feel like that because there was so much out of their control, but also just because of who the players are. I don't care who you are. You can't hate Paige Bueckers. You know how there's like memes and it's like nothing can make me hate you. I don't know what you could use, the way they play the game, the way they carry themselves, the way they are, and the way they give each other so much credit. What is there to say about any of them? You can't.
To me, what they went through, that adversity, the injuries, extremely humanizing. Drea, you and I dealt with injuries and we're crying because we see them back at the mountaintop. And I think there are also a life lesson that your character is not determined when things go well, it's determined when things go bad. And we had countless times we looked at this team saying like, okay, what are they gonna do? How is AZ gonna respond? How is Paige gonna respond? Not only did they respond with buckets and wins, but like All-American seasons, bringing a championship, like responding in the biggest way when you also deal with the standards of being UConn, the criticisms of falling short. That's why this was beautiful.
And it's just amazing, like if we just talk about their big three, right? UConn's big three. They win the national championship. Paige gets on the mic, and what is the first thing she did? Was thank the practice players and the managers. And then AZ comes on the mic and she's asked about how she's resilient. She says, I'm resilient because the people around me are resilient and their resilience goes into me. And then Sarah gets the mic and what does she say? Well, I'm proud of how my teammates handled this game. Like they give so much credit to themselves as far as the team goes. It's just really special what they have.
But what's interesting is it's all that deference that led Gino multiple times to say like, I need one of these players to put the team on their back and be like, I'm not going to always choose, to be the pass first person. I need Sarah Strong to assert herself. And we saw that today. Because if you would have told me that UConn wasn't going to hit any threes, not really, right? If you would have told me that Paige wasn't going to go off, and that this team was still going to beat a formidable South Carolina team by 23 points, I would have called you freaking crazy. But we saw Sarah Strong. She needs to change her name to Sarah Strong with a K. We saw her this tournament just come alive, y'all.
It's a cool story because going into a tournament, whether you're South Carolina, LSU, UCLA, UConn, you try to find the best motivation. And for UConn, we heard the mantra, we got to do it for Paige. Your stars can carry you so far, but this is a team sport. Paige had one of the best runs, first 4 games leading into the Final Four. But what made this, was it your word? I can't remember which one. Poetic. Was the fact that it was her teammates that were lifting her up. The fact that, like you said, Sarah Strong, acting like she'd been here before. AZ Fudd saying, we got you. AZ, the one that they're drawing plays out of timeouts to knock down and keep that separation. It was a full team effort, not just like, oh, Paige has to do this. They believed in each other in a way that I feel like is truly special.
But it's also, it's like the phrase or the part of the poem that's like, when you let your light shine, it allows others to do the same. And so Paige being the best version of herself, which the only reason Paige really popped off for 34, 40, 31 was because Gino told her that's what the team needed. She only did that once she realized the team needed her to do that, right? And so then Paige being the best version of herself and being aggressive and letting her light shine the brightest in terms of her scoring, that's what opened up the opportunities for her teammates. And the best part about it is her teammates were ready to do the same for her. It's one thing when your best player draws the attention of the defense and the ball comes to you and you know you have to make a shot because you're open, there's pressure there. And her teammates met the moment. Caitlin Chen, the way she played these last couple of games, the way that KK Arnold comes into the game and makes big-time plays. Everyone was ready. It was a complete team effort.
And when you think about pressure, sometimes you're like, okay, how am I going to be able to knock this shot down? I think because they went through what they went through, they didn't take this for granted. Like, this was just another game to them. They didn't look like, oh my gosh, it's this opponent or that. They played the same way they had been building to play over the course of the entire tournament.
They dominated UCLA. And they dominated South Carolina. They dominated both teams.
That were fighting for number one in the
That's what I'm saying. Had the toughest schedules, had 6-7 on the inside. Dawn's got talent on top of talent coming off of the bench. Like, there's not enough words for it.
Well, UConn won its 2 Final Four games by combined 57 points. That's the second largest point differential behind another UConn team in 2016, Stewie's last year. But I do want to give a second, since we are showing a lot of the UConn and deservedly so, to talk about South Carolina as well. Sarah Strong, an incredible freshman year, National Freshman of the Year. But they definitely, South Carolina, have one as well in Joyce Edwards. It didn't go their way, but when you think about a South Carolina team making their 5th straight Final Four appearance and doing it without the benefit, they won their first title, it was with Asia Wilson. They won their second title, it was with Aaliyah Boston. They won their third title, it was with Camila Cardoso, with dominant post players who were lottery picks. That's not the case this year. If you're Dawn and you're retooling and reloading for next year, which we know that she will do, history tells us as much, what do you think this South Carolina team needs to take that next step and be champions again?
We've seen it before with Aaliyah Boston. All they need is heartbreak.
This right here,
Once they get their hearts broken, it brings out the best version of the next generation. When I think about this game, obviously, if you're a South Carolina fan, it's tough to watch, right?
Yeah, sure.
But I was talking to a lot of WNBA players. I see a lot of WNBA DMs. What Joyce Edwards was doing was not easy. Her isolation buckets, her bringing the ball up for the first time in a long time on this stage. To me, she is a cornerstone and a centerpiece. Like you mentioned, Sarah Strong had a great freshman year, but because they were blessed by their depth, maybe it didn't showcase all that Joyce can do. But I do think they will remember this and use this to be better moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something to be said about not feeling like you did your best when the lights were the brightest, right? And sometimes that embarrassing feeling can be more motivating than anything. And it's hard because South Carolina still had such an incredible season.
They did.
It's so hard to get to this point. So they still have so much to be proud of. But this is going to be more motivating than anything for South Carolina and for Dawn Staley.
Yeah, with that, let's take a look at our guarantee brought to you by AT&T. I said to you guys, I think the best possible scenario for UConn and really for women's basketball is the idea, and it's kind of, we're going like this because we lost our
I can't hear,
we can't really hear anything
either.
But I think the best possible scenario for women's basketball, but for UConn as well, is that it was a national championship winning team by UConn, but it wasn't Paige having to put up 50 to do it. The idea that they are leaving this game in the hands of AZ Fudd, in the hands of Sarah Strong, that we've got Joyce Edwards. So my guarantee is we're going to see these two teams on a major stage again next year, and I have no idea if things are going to be different, but I know they're going to retool and be right back.
No notes.
I can completely guarantee that. Both of these teams. I mean, and they're also, you can't say enough about the two head coaches.
Yeah.
Like these two head coaches and what they're doing and where women's basketball is and how packed this place was. We couldn't even hear the referee's whistle. At times. It was so loud. It was so exciting. It was so fun. Even when the game got away from them a little bit.
Sure.
The crowd was in it. It was fun, and there's still so much to celebrate. Also, can we celebrate ourselves? We can guarantee that we'll be back.
I can guarantee that. We will absolutely guarantee that we'll be back because while obviously the college basketball season is over, you know what's ratcheting up? All we do is WWW no matter what. We're actually going to see you at the WNBA draft. Exactly. Where we imagine Paige Beckers is going to be the first pick off the board. I mean, you know, we're doing these air quotes as we did the same thing last year with Caitlin Clark. Presumptive. So we're definitely going to see you from New York. But I do just have to say, as we close out the show, thank you to all of you who have really turned the Elle Duncan show into a women's college basketball show. It's just the truth. When we started this thing, it was like, we're just going to crack jokes. We're going to tell jokes with me and Gary. We're going to see where it goes. And you all dictated what this show is going to be. And when we talk about women's basketball, you show up and you engage, and that's what you want. And so we're grateful to you for doing that, for providing that, for giving a space where we can just cook. And I'm thanking the both of you as well for being amazing women who I love spending time with, who have taught me so much, who have inspired me. You guys are you're amazing. And I'm actually a little emotional to have to say goodbye to the season and spend so much time with you.
Before we go, Elle, you are special. I want you to know that.
Don't do this, Nay. I'm going to cry.
Honestly, what you have done inspiring us to be better women, to have teammates that we know we don't have to compete with each other. You literally showed us the pathway. Y'all, when we got to ESPN, Elle basically dragged us and said, you're coming to our house and you are family. And to me, there's no words for what you mean to not just this game and entering the space and dominating it, but to Drea and
I also think, Elle, you know, women's basketball was in a pivotal time, and you were brought in to be the host and to lead the shows and to do all of these things for women's college basketball. And this is a safe space. You didn't know much about women's college basketball at the time.
Yeah.
You were covering every sport on SportsCenter every single day. And the way you dove in to learn the players, learn the coaches, learn the storylines, you completely embedded yourself into our world, and we're all better because of it. So thank you.
You're the best. And honestly, I was able to do that because it was such a welcome space to do that. Because when I would look at them and be like, I don't know what I'm talking about, you would tell me, like, this is what to pay attention to. This is what to know. This is where
we're not going there. This tournament, Elle was dropping some gems.
Your baby's growing up.
Why is she bringing the ball down, keep it up, and the next thing you know, she's Coach Close is like, oh, Lauren should not bring the ball down. I was like, I feel like a proud mom.
Elle knows it.
Elle, smoke them if you got it. I mean, I literally sit next to the two best minds in basketball. Good God, by process of osmosis, something's got to stick.
A contact high.
It is. It's a contact high.
Should we go get one now?
I would love to go get a contact high. We're high off life, folks.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, my God. Listen, thank you so much again. We'll see you at the WNBA draft. Let's throw this little bit of confetti that we have.
Love you guys.
This has been the Elle Duncan Show presented by AT&T. We're going to go party.
Vibe check.
I don't have.
Vibe check. Wait.
Okay. I don't have enough arm space. My blazer.
Okay, you ready?
Count us down now.
1, 2, 3. Woo! We love it. We'll see you next week.